Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank EDAT for welcoming us and having the opportunity to talk to you. Sorry about this terrible picture. We are a company from Montpellier, so we are very excited to be able to talk in our own city. And I'm going to go briefly on a keynote regarding IoT. And where is the button? It's here. All right. So first of all, I guess if I ask the same question as Verizon on who knows Matooma in the audience, maybe I would have less. Oh, there is one here. Thank you very much, sir. Oh, two others over there. One over there is quite a success, and one here. Thank you. So actually, it's quite a success. But for those who do not know Matooma, it's actually a startup. We were founded 4 years ago. We are part of the French tech. Today, we are 34 employees with the headquarters in Montpellier. We are very proud of that. We are going to finish the year with 5.5 million, not billion as the other companies that presented the keynote. For us, it's still million, but we are growing quite quickly. And our business is in the IoT and connectivity. Today, we have more than 200,000 connected devices, thanks to our solution. And we are a B2B company, and we have around 2,000 customers. Basically, very quickly, what do? We provide cellular technology for connectivity, so basically SIM cards. We are totally network agnostic. Our SIM cards simply connect to the best network available around you. We have, of course, roaming partners to enable such things. So if you need to connect a device, you put a Matooma SIM card in it, it will pick a network anywhere in the world. You don't need to have one contract with this supplier, one contract with this one. A lot of platform to access and to look at your SIM cards. With Matooma, you put it, it works. You've got one platform to manage all these devices, all these SIM cards. You've got one invoice. It may sound a bit, oh, well, that's not a lot of value for a company to only to have one invoice, but for those who know the difficulty of managing all that, it is quite a value. And we have a private infrastructure, a secure IP network. We will develop it a bit later. So what is IoT? Every time there is a keynote, the guy says, what is IoT? So it's a bit of a boring question. But actually, we really ask us the question at Matooma, because Matooma stands for machine to machine. So we started by doing connectivity to connect machine. And then the name came with IoT. So we actually ask ourselves, what is IoT? Is it a technology? Well, the answers from the people before me was very clear. IoT is not a specific technology. It could go from Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, Sigfox, LoRa, all the cellular technology, the NB-IoT, LTE-M, EC, GSM, 2.3, 3G, 4G, 5G. All of these are IoT. There have been a lot of talks about the low-power network, but actually, all these technologies are IoT, so it's not about a technology by itself. Is it for specific application? We have talked about the smart factory, about the smart cities, the smart metering, a lot of things. IoT is not about one specific application. It could also be for BeanCam. I don't know if you heard BeanCam. This great invention. It is a trash can that posts your trash to Facebook. Well, I don't really know what the purpose of it, but I found it on the internet. That is IoT. It's not only the big thing, the fancy thing, or IC Pouch, the video chat with your dog and deliver a treat from anywhere. That's also IoT. So IoT could be a lot of different applications. It's not only for one part of the industry. It applies to anything. Actually, IoT stands for Internet of Things. Well, you have not learned a lot of things when I say that. Everyone in the audience knows that it is Internet of Things. But it is a quite interesting name. Why Internet of Things? Why do you say Internet of Things and not a regular Internet? Because Internet was there already before. There is no reason why we should say Internet of Things. Well, actually, there is a need to have a dedicated internet for things, for connected objects, because the projection and the growth that we expect in the future, and that is the famous 50 billion expected connected objects by 2020 made by Cisco, the growth is much quicker than the connected population. So if we want to avoid traffic jams in the future, we need to have separate roads for these IoT, for these things. Also, we need to ensure maximum security. The little brown thing is supposed to be a Chinese wall. I'm sorry, my skills in designing Chinese wall are not very good, so just that you know. But we need to ensure maximum security. Then that will prevent individuals messing with the connected objects. And there is a source from a Deloitte review that really emphasized the fact that the smart connected objects offer tremendous opportunities for value creation and capture, but we can also create tremendous risk, demanding new strategies for value protection. A single vulnerable device can leave an entire ecosystem open to attack, with potential disruption ranging from individual privacy breach to massive breakdowns of public systems. Well, it's quite interesting, this quotation, just to read it now, when we know that actually we have left the door open. We have not done an Internet of Things. We have connected objects to the Internet. And what happened then? Well, there are attacks every day. And the previous speakers spoke about the DDoS attack that occurred actually 2 weeks ago. I don't know if people are very familiar with what happened, but I've tried to summarize quickly the situation. So the funny thing, it's not that funny actually, but there has been hackers that, thanks to internet, had access to connected objects, because of course it is using internet. There is no Internet of Things, it's regular internet. So they have access to objects, and they have used the connected objects to attack a company, DYN, which is actually acting as an address book for the internet, for the regular internet, and they have made a DDoS attack. And for people who know what is a DDoS attack, is actually you overwhelm a server with requests, and then the server goes down because it cannot handle all the requests. It's not able to deliver the service it's supposed to, and then it's the whole service does not work. And if you target one of the company acting as a address book for the internet, then you could put down the entire internet. And because the number of connected objects is growing very, very fast, then it's quite easy to do it. Well, quite easy. You will say, well, it's probably the Chinese or the Russia, or the Russian people or hackers specialized. Well, not at all. If you look on how people did it, it's actually quite simple. Some teenagers, apparently, the latest report showed that it is probably teenagers who did it, went online, saw that there is a malware called Mirai, and a tutorial on how to do it. And basically, this little malware has, in its database, all the default login and password of a lot of connected objects, especially the one on DVRs and on the cameras. So you just press a button, it will send requests to a lot of IP addresses through the internet, trying to connect to these devices. They will try the default login and password. 90% of the time, it will connect to the device. Then they install the malware, and then they can ask the device to do what they want. So let's say you connect to 10 million of CCTV cameras, then you press a button and you say, okay, now send a ping request to this server. And if you target all your attack at one point, then of course you'll make a DDoS attack, and the service will not be available to work. And these teenagers have almost put down the internet in the United States by pressing one button. So indeed, the Deloitte report was very true. If there is one little get open and you've got access to the connected objects, you can turn them and put the entire system at risk. So in that case, they not only hacked the connected objects, they use them to put down the internet. So it is extremely dangerous. So what should we do now? Once we have said that IoT stands for Internet of Things, but actually we are just using the regular internet to connect things, well, we should keep the door closed. We should use a dedicated internet, a real Internet of Things. And at Matooma, when we ask ourselves, okay, we have chosen a name, Matooma, as machine-to-machine, now we're talking about IoT, so what do we do? So, well, okay, we will do an Internet of Things. So basically, we have developed a secure IP network dedicated to things. We have literally applied what IoT was standing for, meaning developing an Internet of Things that will enable interoperability, security, remote processing, and data protection. So you might ask, okay, but how did you do an Internet of Things? Well, it's quite somehow simple. You remember Matooma is providing SIM cards, multi-operator SIM card that will only connect to the best network available. So ultimately, all these SIM cards will end up in devices. And what we have done is a secure IP network between those SIM cards and the client server, which is on the right-hand side there. So we don't want to go through the regular internet, again, the very nice Chinese wall over there. So we have, between the device and the network, a dedicated APN. Between the networks, the operators, the mobile operators, and our core network, we have physical links. Okay, so we do it the old way. We pull a link, or we rent it. And between the core network and our client server, we've got a physical link as well, or a VPN. In such a way that anytime you send an information from the device to the server, or from the server to the device, because also we have put fixed private IP address on the SIM card, enabling bidirectional communication between the two. It never goes through the internet. Never, never, ever. It only goes through this Internet of Things. And we're quite surprised that actually, when we talk about security, when we talk about IoT, everyone is talking about encryption, but no one is talking about making a kind of a private internet dedicated to things. And that's what we have done at Matooma. Now, so we are very proud of that. And actually, also, every time we go to conferences, people say, well, you know, connectivity is just a commodity. That's not where the value is. The value is in the cloud, in the data. The value is the analysis of the data, of the big data, of the report, business intelligence that you could get out of the information that I gathered. And connectivity is becoming a low value. Actually, I was very interested this morning when we heard Orange talking about the quality of the network, which was very important. He said a French expression, pas de bras, pas de chocolat. I don't know if you remember this saying from the Orange speaker. Well, if we would translate it into English, we would say, bad connectivity, bad IoT. So at Matooma, we are extremely proud to be a safe carrier of M2M or IoT connectivity using a dedicated Internet of Things. And actually, of course, there is a lot of value in the cloud, a lot of value in the big data. I'm not saying that the value is not there, but if your first brick, the connectivity, where everybody, today the trend is really to consider it as a commodity, is not state of the art, the whole rest is at risk. So now I'm going to show you quickly a use case of a customer using our solution. meaning our SIM cards, and also our Matooma secure IP network for its own use case. I guess you all know Photomaton. It's the group PhotoMe in the UK. Well, you'll find these photo booths a bit everywhere, in the rail station, at the airport, in shopping centers. Photomaton has chosen Matooma to put a SIM card in every single booth that they have available. Why? First of all, for reliable connectivity. You remember that I was saying that the Matooma SIM cards were always picking the best network. Well, that's quite a nice thing for an industrial who doesn't know where the photo booth will be installed. And sometimes there is for France, there will be Orange network available, and the other one, another place it will be Bouygues, and another one it will be SFR. Instead of having a guy with all these SIM cards in his pocket and testing them all, you put one Matooma SIM card, it works. Also now in all these booths, you are able to pay with your credit card. Of course, you need to ensure that there is maximum security. Otherwise, well, then the financial information are at risk, and the data collected from payments are at risk. So we all secure that with our Matooma. More importantly, maybe, there are two other reasons why they have chosen us. First of all, it's the remote maintenance. If you remember, I was explaining that on all our SIM cards using Matooma, we've got a fixed IP address. What does it mean to have a fixed IP address? It means that remotely, you can have access to the machine. By default, a regular SIM card will have a dynamic IP address, meaning that it can send information to your server, but if you want to access it, then you don't know which address it will be, because it's dynamically changing. With our SIM cards, you can address them directly because it's a fixed private IP address. So every time there is an issue with the booth, the pictures are not, are not taking anymore, there is a bug or something, they can remotely access the booth, check what is going on, because basically a booth is a big computer, check all the things, reboot it without sending a guy with his screwdriver trying to repair the whole thing. So it's a huge thing for them and for a lot of other industries. Photomaton is not our only customer. We have, as I said, around 2,000 B2B customers. But they have chosen us also for the new feature, which is the identification security. Now, in many booths, Photomaton 1, you are able to take a picture that will be directly used by the French administration for the print of your ID card or your driving license. So the process is as follows. You take a photo, all right, which is of course certified by the administration because they have a little software in it that will check that your eyes are visible and everything. Your photo comes up with a registered number. You log into the administration website asking for an ID or a driving license. You send the additional information to the administration, such as your address and all these things. And then the administration will print directly, thanks to the number which has been provided by the booth, your identity card or your driving license, and you go there and collect it at the counter, and they will just look at you, look at the card, okay, here you go, you can go with it. So there is no need to print a picture, to cut it, to put it in a form, to go to the administration, to wait for half a day, and then to come back 2 weeks later to wait again for half a day to collect it. So it shows really the importance of security here, because we're talking about the identity, which is probably the most valuable data for all of us in this room. I mean, of course, we would not like to have our credit card hacked or any other personal information, but the worst thing that could happen is someone stealing your identity. Imagine if the whole process was going through the regular internet. I'm sure there would be a lot of people interested in making fake IDs or messing with the system. So that's why we have put this a bit provocative tagline: Matooma protects your most valuable data, your identity. Maybe it's a bit exaggerated, but at the end of the day, we provide a solution that ensures you that there will be no problem with the communication between the booth, the administration, and your identity card. So Matooma has not invented IoT. That's not our claim, but we have implemented it. And we are very proud of doing so, and we would like to emphasize again that connectivity is a value, and we'll be more than happy to serve you with our service. And that's it from my side. Thank you very much for your attention.